Alright lads, so today's video I'm going to be going through the FTT scam that I was unfortunately a victim of. So, Scott Trieste, fuck you buddy, you ruined the last 6 months for me. I'm not going to sit here and have a cry like it's just your fault, but had you paid me out, maybe my life would have looked a little bit different. But that's not important because you didn't pay me out. So, basically today's video, I'm just going to go over it. I don't think I've seen any videos of anyone sort of covering it, and I'm sure that there's a lot of people that were affected by the FTT scam that haven't really been able to speak up about it and sort of the effects that it might have had on them. So I'll do my part, I'll speak about it. So basically for me, I was a victim of the FTT scam. I had requested 20 accounts, 20 rally accounts, pretty much approximately 30k USD. And the sad thing is that this would have been my first futures payout after losing a considerable amount of money since quitting my job and going trading full time. So this was the first payout essentially that I had gotten in futures. I had Forex payouts before, but this was my first futures payout, and at 30k USD, I'm sure you know that it's quite a sizable payout to be scammed on. So essentially I just want to talk about, you know, the good, the bad, what I can take away from it, how it affected me, and what it's actually done for me in terms of moving forward with my trading. But I'll pull up some of the evidence and we can go through the payout itself, and then talk about some of the surrounding aspects of it as well. So basically I've got some of my evidence here. You know, what sucks, right, is it feels like I've never gotten a payout. And although this technically in some ways is meant to feel like I got a payout because I got to request 30k USD, it essentially has felt like I've never been able to get a payout. But let's go through it. So in terms of the payout request, so here we have 20 accounts, rally 20 accounts here. So I'll first go through my overall my overall performance on the accounts. So we can see here rally eligible 50, 77, 25,000 account. Profit loss was 1441 on this account. So some accounts are a tiny bit under the 1500. The actual request amount was 29,700. But essentially, we can go through. You know, I pretty much didn't have a red day at all trading these accounts. It was 22 entire full trading days where I had grown it, you know, trading small profit amounts per day, 16, 70, 50, 44, etc. There was one losing day here, but overall my equity curve in terms of my performance was really, really strong. So obviously it moved up. Profit loss days were pretty good overall. Now, as for, you know, when it was approved, so this was when the balances were deducted. So if I zoom into these balances here, so 5077, it's the same account numbers. Essentially here we could see it was 29,700 here that I could request. Obviously anything over, well, if you don't know, anything over 1250 you could request on these accounts. So I could pull out this full amount per account to bring them back to zero and basically blow the accounts. Now, I know that those rules don't exist anymore, but at the time they were the rules, and at the time I could request the payout, which is what sucks. But anyway, you know, this was the account balances before, this was the account balances after. Here we could see once I requested, that the balances had been deducted. So, you know, I was legitimately very, very close to getting my payout. In the Discord, there was people that essentially had gotten requested their payout on the same day that I requested my payout and got paid out. But essentially, I didn't get paid out. So it sucks. It sucks. It is what it is, and it sucks. And it's basically, it's taken a bigger effect on me than, you know, it seems like obviously this was now sometime end of last year, and since then I haven't got another futures payout. You saw my recent video. I basically was trading those accounts for 44 days, Propfirms accounts for 44 days on top 1 futures. And Top 1 futures almost seems like it's going down a similar path to FTT at this point, but we'll see how they last. But anyway, I'd held on to those accounts for 44 days. So obviously my trading's improved in terms of risk management, in terms of holding on to my positions, or cutting losing days shorter. But essentially, I'm struggling to find consistency since this FTT scam. And a big part of that is because, so when I'd quit my job, I had saved up, a few of you know this, I'd saved up quite a considerable amount of money. Essentially, throughout the year trading, I basically started going through that money. Now this payout would have bring me well back into the green. If we look at what 29 or 30,000 K USD to AUD is, 30,000, 46,000 Australian dollars. In Australia, 46,000 Australian dollars is a lot of money. Essentially 46,000 is a year of living expenses for me covered. And when I requested this payout was probably when I was most in need of receiving the payout, which is what sucks. It really does suck. And it's funny now for me to look back on because it's just a point in time that that happened. It doesn't really affect me anymore. Obviously, I just wanted to make a video to sort of cover it because I feel like a few people joined the stream and I get a few questions about how much have I made and have I ever gotten payouts and things like that. So I just wanted to make this video to cover, yes, I have gotten to a payout. Have I been paid it? No, which sucks. But essentially, what has it done for me? Now the negatives is, obviously, I needed the payout at the time and, you know, I was chewing into my financial runway, into my financial savings to keep trading. And, you know, it felt like I'd made a breakthrough. Honestly, you know, it was quite quick. I'd quit my job. It was within a year that I got to this payout goal, and obviously would have pretty much made me net break even in the year since quitting my job and going full time. But since then, you know, it's stayed net negative at the moment. But the positive that I think is the most important positive is that I can do it. That's my biggest takeaway. The biggest takeaway for me is that I'm capable of producing the results needed to get to a payout. And I did this with, you know, 20 times leverage. So even here, payouts approved, 22 trading days, all the way down from 596, all the way to, if I go into the second photo here, 577. So all of them were approved, all of them were updated. I was waiting, I was checking my rise every day, I was checking, just waiting for that email to come through. And now obviously here, you know, I had organized all the information that I needed, in the case that something, maybe I could have got my fucking payout, in case that I needed to have evidence. So I had been taking screenshots of all these different people, you know, things like this, you were getting paid, Scott, just talking mad rubbish. Driving away in his Bentley and McLaren and whatever the fuck else. He ended up driving and keeping, as well as my 30k USD, but it is what it is. Anyway, so all these things, Scott confirmed, Scott confirming glitch, Scott confirming payout date, blah blah blah, all this rubbish, you know, taking screenshots of other people as well, just, you know, people that I'd spoke to, things like that. And then finally this was that dreaded email that we ended up getting. You know, waking up to this was fucking heartbreaking, if I'm being honest. It was heartbreaking. But the sun still rose the next day. I still had to go to bed and I still had to wake up. So, you know, in hindsight, it sucks. But I'm still here today. I'm still trading. I'm still trying. Have I been giving it the best crack at trying to bounce back from this? I do feel like I was, but it just seems like I can't find consistency. Obviously, the period after this was quite poor. There was a lot of tilt and revenge sort of behavior, but, you know, that slowed down coming into this year. And obviously in that last little period, like, I did hold those accounts for close to 2 months in terms of 44 trading days. So I know my time will come. I know my time will come very soon. I just have to be a bit more disciplined, be a bit more patient, and I'm very confident that I can replicate this. Obviously, it might take a little bit longer than initially anticipated, but regardless, I know that we will get back to a point where we essentially can make shit happen essentially. So hopefully this video helped. I'm not sure if anyone else maybe is a victim of the FTT scam. I feel for you, but you know, we're in it together. It's all part of the game anyway. You know, prop firm rug pulls and things shutting down happens from time to time. It's just sometimes you get caught in it, sometimes you get to view from the outside and from the sidelines. So yeah, it is what it is. I appreciate you guys sticking around to the end of the video if you did. Much love, and I will see you in the next one. Adios.